Well, welcome everyone to the F100 Hackathon progress check-in. As you all know, our deadline is coming up very quickly, so we wanted to give the chance for everyone who's been hacking away for the past month to actually show off their progress, which is really exciting, and get some feedback from our team here. So today we have David, Mike, and then also Dan, if you want to chime in with some hot takes, we'd love to have you as well. So how this is going to work is very similar to our pitch night from a little while back, where we have our lineup that we set up yesterday, and everyone this time actually will have the chance to screen share, which is really exciting. So you can actually show off stuff related to your gameplay, your any progress, any like mocks and things like that. So that's how it will work today. Everyone will have 5 minutes approximately to do their demo or walkthrough or pitch however they want, and then I'll pass it over to David, Mike, and Dan to give some feedback, help answer questions or ask you questions actually as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun and to see what everyone's been working on. So without further ado, we have Etherion going up first. So do you want to start sharing your screen? And then once you do, your 5 minutes start.
Good morning, everyone. It's 5 p.m. here in Taiwan.
Good morning.
Okay, so I can start, right?
Good to go, man.
Okay. So this is what I make. So, and then we can press F to start, and then we can start just the character here.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Sorry?
I said that's so funny. I love it.
Yeah, sorry.
It looks awesome.
It's because there is an audio here, so I think I cannot hear you clearly, because when I play the game, then there will be an audio.
I see.
Okay. Yeah, so we can choose like the character, but currently only Justin is available. So when Jane is chosen, you can press space, and then the screen will shake because it's not available right now. But for Justin, like, it's available, and then for the fractal, like, you can choose one of the fractal, and then each fractal will have like its own skill. So this one is not developed yet, but basically the idea is like if you have the gold one, then you can like clear all the bullets in the screen, and this one is like you can have a protective shield, and this one is like you can have like a very focused laser beam that go into your enemy, and this one is like you can have like a lot of bullets that basically is like spreaded bullets. So, and then this go into the actual game, something like this one. So I have not do the collision detection, but basically as you can see here, there is a word bullet. So basically this one will be changed into like when airdrop and when to the moon and something like that. So this one, previously I want to do it as a vertical, like a top down, but because my team wants to change it to horizontal, so I just changed it in yesterday night, so I cannot finish it. So currently my problem is like how to change this one into like a horizontal instead of vertical like this one. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's all from my side. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. I suppose what's the intended behavior of the yellow circles? Are they going to give you damage when they hit you?
Yes, this one. Yeah.
And you just like you're coming up with a random algorithm to sort of spray them out. It seems really hard to avoid them currently.
Yeah. I think in the next week I will try to balance everything and make sure everything is playable.
Really impressive. I love the graphics. I think they're super fun.
Awesome. I love it. I think it's cool. Like, to be honest, you brought all the characters of the community in, which is like amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing like the actual final result. So yeah, I suppose my favorite. I think it's awesome. So I'm excited to see. And I suppose The other question is, what do you expect to happen when you sort of win? I guess would be a cool thing to know.
So I think this project is like I really believe like this project maybe can be like its own like NFT project. So basically like all the character will be NFTs, something like that. So like Justin can be an NFT, and then all the character like Brian, Chen, and Mike, David, all can be an NFT, and then probably there is like a normal character, something like that. So I imagine something like that. And for the fractal use, it will be like a skill here, like in the above the health bar, there will be like a square, and it's like a skill in the Dota or League of Legends, like you press something and then the skill will be activated. So yeah, that's my vision.
It's awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Etherion. The characters are so cute. Can't wait to see what you end up doing over the next couple of days. All right, next up we have Chris. Go ahead and share your screen.
Fantastic. Okay.
Well,
Thank you, everybody.
Discord profile picture. Does Discord support NFT profile pictures yet?
No, not yet.
So if anyone would like to participate whilst I am having a chit chat, I've posted the URL. It is Lecker Digital. The only thing that's important with this playtest, let me just open up a notepad. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see this because my font's pretty small. I'll just post it it's in the F100 if anyone wants to join, sorry. It needs to be HTTPS at the moment. So how this game works, it's hosted on my web server. And also just a couple of days ago, quite new to me, and I was having a chat with Mike about it, I've hosted the 100,000 fractals and their attributes on my server, and I learned how to create an API. And I had never done that before, so it was incredibly exciting for me to work out that I've built an API that allows my game to connect to my database server. And the only issue I'm having at the moment is I need to make sure that people go to the HTTPS version of my game to make sure it's secure. Otherwise, the game doesn't actually connect to my database, and that database is to look up your fractal name. So this is a multiplayer fractal-based game where you're all running around a spherical plane, eating each other, and I guess I'm trying to work out the future mechanics thereafter. But let's just open it up and show you how the selection screen works. I'm just going to grab a random name, C-A-L, sorry, the screen's tiny, C-A-L-A-E. So if I'm connected to my server, I should be able to just type C-L-A-E. In the future, this would be an actual wallet connect, but I've just sort of built the example of what it may look like. So, maybe it's connect to my wallet, and you've connected and it automatically lets you choose from a fractal. But in this instance, I'm just clicking from my fractal. That's going to my server, pulling the data, and then putting in my name. At the present time, the fractal attributes don't have influence on the game because I've literally only been able to connect this level of information and retrieve this data in the past 48 hours. So now it's about thereafter trying to implement that and playing around with some different features that we can bring into the game. I'm just going to click auto join match. I've only just introduced my fractals. Okay, and there's a bug. About 6 hours ago, I introduced the new sprites that my daughter has drawn in. When I died, someone just ate me.
Oh, Mike,
if you guys
just killed me.
Yeah, when you die at the moment, you're respawning as a Hexa, because Hexa is all I have had during my build. So I've only just implemented the sprites based on that selection screen about 6 hours ago, and I haven't coded up when you die, what happens, and it's just respawns you as a default Hexa for now, which is not a bad thing. I'm going to try and survive now.
Anything? Can you eat anything if you're another faction?
You can eat anything at the moment. So the rules are still super, super simple. I've been working on the framework, trying to get multiplayer working, learning as much as possible, the next sort of thing I need to look at over the next week is to see what smoke and mirrors I can deploy to try and minimize the network latency effects. So right now, as I'm playing, because I am in Australia, I've set the server to be America. What happens is when a player on their computer eats me, they can see that they collide with my character, But on my computer, because I'm in Australia, I've got like a 0.3 second latency difference. So I don't necessarily see that you have eaten me. So that's where there's this little bit of smoke and mirrors I need to work on, do some fine tuning. But just to go back to, for me, explaining the basics of the game, it's going around this planet collecting water droplets. That's the most simplest form of it. And as you collect the water droplets, the camera continues to pan out, zoom out, and eventually you get to the point that you can see the whole planet. So if you guys could possibly do me a favour and maybe not kill me too quickly in Tech Labs, I'll slowly zoom out over stream. Try your best to avoid me.
Dude, Mike is killing everyone.
Mike's sabotaging the stream. He's just headhunting me.
This is the first time I've won, by the way. I usually get destroyed quickly by someone that's massive. I feel that power now.
Oh boy, are you the
God.
Mike? Is that you, Mike? The big quad?
Red, yeah.
Hey, Dad,
small.
feed me, Dad.
I think there's a little bit of a like I keep getting like pretty close to somebody, and then it seems like I got eaten, even though I didn't like that. Oh my God, Mike!
Exactly. So I've in this past, I've only implemented multiplayer probably 10 days ago, and I've sort of not had a chance to fine tune that. And now what's happened is, and I've also got to work out what's called master client handover. So the first person to have joined the server has just left, and whoever the first person to load the server is, their computer is responsible for spawning the snowdrops. So if they quit, all the snowdrops currently aren't being handed over to someone else. So someone else has become the client, and they're instantiating the water droplets. So there's a whole bunch of those sort of little technicalities now that I need to work through and perfect. And for some reason, my screen zoomed in. I've died. That would explain it.
What?
So what I might do...
Wins. There's no way to win because we're out of snowdrops. Mike, congratulations.
What I might do is I'm going to change my screen over to my Unity editor so you guys can keep playing, because then I can get a different view of everyone moving around the planet. Let's see if I can change my screen, change windows.
Chris, do you want to cover a little bit of like what your sheet, like what do you want to get to by the end of the hackathon?
Sure. Let me just change this over. Beautiful. This is Unity. So by the end of the hackathon, I'm hoping to play test some more game modes. So I've obviously got to bring in the 4 different fractals. So I've been working on the UI, allowing people to get in there, do the most basics form of it. And now it's all about playtesting different ideas and to work out what are the different win mechanics. I'm thinking throughout the course of this week, I'd like to encourage as many people to go through as possible. So me put up my own sort of bounty. And to do that, I'm probably going to work over the next 48 hours to work out some sort of win mechanic for this week. And that win mechanic may simply state, I'm going to be logging to my database however many minutes, or whoever has the most minutes as, position number 1 on the server. So some sort of win mechanic like that, I'll state it, and it just allows more people to get through, bug test it. Because obviously the hard thing for me, and what actually surprisingly enough has actually slowed down my development, is every code iteration that I do, I'm perpetually testing the game myself, and I'm like having 5 windows open, I'm running around, I'm doing this, that, and the other. That's a bit of a new experience for me. So I'm actually keen to see if I can get people involved in coming up with ideas. And one thing I'd also like to implement this week, which is obviously going to need testing, especially around this latency, is the ability to even just shoot. So at the moment, how the game works is the only way that you can kill another player is that you continually get larger by collecting water droplets. And if you're larger than your opponent and you collide with them, you can shoot them. Now, I'd like to try and implement shooting, which maybe allows you to shoot in whichever direction based on your mouse click. So at the moment, you're obviously walking around with your I say obviously, sorry, for people who haven't played, you can use your arrows on your keyboard, and that's how you navigate around this planet. I'm thinking of also allowing you to click to shoot, and maybe when you click to shoot, it uses one of your points. So you essentially shrink as you're shooting, so you can keep spamming around the map, and you're losing a point each time. But perhaps if that bullet has, say, like a 2-second lifetime and it's floating around the planet, if you hit someone within that 2 seconds of that bullet has been shot, maybe you do 5 damage. And let's say 5 damage is the base amount. And then also based on your NFT, so if you have a power level of 100, 100, if we divide that by, say, 100 as well, that would come to number 1. So 5 plus 1, 5 being the base amount of damage. +1. So maybe you do 6 damage if you're someone that has a power level of 100. If you have a power level of 20, maybe that'd be 5.2, if that makes sense. So just to try and work out little minute balance changes depending on the fractal that you have. So I want to start playing around with different in-game mechanics. Maybe altitude could affect your camera angle. So rather than your camera being so punched in the beginning, because as everyone who's played the game, you can notice that eventually you can see the whole planet and you've got a really good field of view to go around killing people. But when you start off, you're disadvantaged because you're so small and you're so zoomed in. But maybe that altitude statistic can actually give you the ability to start off with a further out camera zoom, or even have the ability to zoom out with your mouse. So it's all about just working with the community, seeing what people want me to try, and me just hack it in there and see what features people enjoy playing with, just to add a little bit of pizzazz to the game mode. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess I'll quickly add my feedback. I think it's great. I think the one thing I've learned about gaming, getting into the space, is game dynamics are one of the most important things, and I think you're learning that now. Is that
yes.
How do you perfect that, and how do you come up with cool dynamics that work for your particular game? So it's cool to see that in real time, and I'm looking forward to seeing this come Judgment Day.
Yeah, it's real fun. This is for those of you that can't. Actually, I don't know if my screen is still streaming, but this is the game editor, effectively, Unity. And in Spectator View, it actually lets me connect to the game and sort of watch matches as a spectator. So in theory, I've also got the ability right now, without having to even have coded up anything, to have hosted little tournaments and actually be able to watch people play and, observe from the clouds rather than just be a player. So it's pretty cool. It's an exciting new space for me, and I'm learning daily. And anytime, send me through suggestions and I'll try and implement them.
That's so cool, Chris.
Yeah, it's really good work, man.
Awesome. Cool. So next up we have noshow, who I'm hoping is actually going to show. Please share your screen if you're here.
Hello there.
Oh.
Hello.
Okay, so my name is Martijn. I'm a software engineer from the Netherlands, and in the past month I had lots of fun creating Fractal Ranks, and that's also what I'm going to show you today. Let me see. Okay, so Fractal Ranks is a web app on which you can explore all fractals and their rankings. Therefore, I create a ranking algorithm based on the attributes of a fractal, and in the Explore section, you can see all the different fractals, their main attributes, the rank in the faction, and the rank overall. All filters are there, so you can take a look at all the fractals for sale. You can take a look at the different prices, or dive into the specifics. Let's say you want a medium to high purity one. You can take a look at those. Maybe you're interested in buying, so let's stick on the for sale box. There are the 6 fractals remaining, and let's sort them on price. It's all backlinked to the Fractal Marketplace, so you can, whenever you spot one where you're interested in, you can immediately click and try to buy one. And next to that, I created an overview of all the details of a fractal. So we have the main rankings based on the total attributes, but we also have rankings on a specific attribute. So this Orach try as a spin of 49, and therefore in the faction it's a rank of 32,000, but overall it's 46,000, and that's there for all the different attributes. So what I'm really hoping on is that different games are going to utilize the different attributes in a different way, and that some game is more interested in, let's say, altitude. For example, a space explorer game. And then you can use Fractal Ranks to take a look at the best altitude fractals and try to get one of those. That's also why I created the visualizations, to have a quick look at the attributes in comparison with the average. and this will help to find the fractal where you're interested in. And well, hopefully you're able to build a collection. That's over here. You can inspect all the different collections based on owner address. So these are all the wheels. They have lots of different fractals. You can take a look at how many they have and what the total floor value is of all the fractals combined. If you click on it, you will see the overview of all the fractals of that specific wallet. And also here you can search and take a look if somebody's selling something. Well, this wallet address is not selling, which is probably a smart move. Okay, so yesterday I've created something else, and that's a browser extension which you can use on the Fractal marketplace to enrich all the fractals with ranking information. This is how it looks like. So from here you can install it. And if you don't take a look at the Fractal marketplace, you will see that every card is enriched with the visualizations and the rankings of the fractals. This live updates whenever you inspect more of them. There we go. So this is a really fun way, I think, of combining the fractal ranking information and the fractal marketplace. And again, also here, if you filter, for example, on the x-axis, also all the information is there. And again, you can take a look at the specifics of a fractal. So this one, in comparison to the average, is really strong, has lots of velocity and a pretty high altitude. Okay, so that's what I created until now. And what's up next? What I really hope is that different games are going to utilize the different attributes of a fractal in their own way, and that I can create additional rankings or visualizations per game. What also would be really cool if whenever the fractals are going to evolve over time, that I can create some additional visualizations on their progress and how they got at a certain point.
That's awesome. It's amazing to see you embedding it as an extension. It's obviously going to help people really optimize their trading experience, I think. So, have you ever considered connecting wallets within Fractal Ranks so people can see what's in their wallet?
Yeah, that's also something I'm still exploring or planning to do. I first focused on just getting all the information in there and making it accessible, and now indeed I can make a connection to the wallet and have people use it like that.
Awesome. A nerdy question from me is, I suppose, what do you do with ranking? Is it difference from is it how different it is from the average or what?
No,
to be honest, we played around with some ranking internally, and I think yours is very different. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying yours has actually turned out really well, but it's interesting to know what it was.
So what I did was rank all the attributes in each own category, and then just gave the highest one the highest rank. And I then summed up all the different ranks per attribute and reversed the order. So the fractal with the highest rank on all the different, or the lowest rank basically, so the number one rank on all the different attributes is the best one overall. So it's really taking a look at the attributes in comparison to all other fractals in its own attribute, and then that's some.
Are the attributes randomly distributed on fractals, or are they random? Or are they evenly distributed or random?
They're normally distributed. There was a podcast on this, Dan.
I think that's in a secret of love and what he came up with.
Yeah, we had a part of business design it, so it's on a distribution.
I think it's awesome. I think it's no doubt that everyone's been using you as a ranking system for knowing what their fractal's worth. So I think you've engaged the community, you've built a product that people want. I think they're all good signs to being able to build a good product. So
I love the Chrome extension. Absolutely phenomenal.
It's awesome to see it.
Yeah, nice.
Wouldn't expect anything less from the Google Drive founder, but I also do love the browser extension.
So good.
Okay, awesome. Let's move on to number 4, Potato. Where are you?
I gotta hop off, but great work so far, guys. Looking forward to seeing the rest of these.
Thanks, Dan.
Hello. All right. So I'm just gonna go over our thing real quick. And so I'm Anthony, also known as Potato around here, founder of NFT Monarchs. So we're trying to build Solana's first 100% on-chain NFT RPG game. Twitter and Discord at NFT Monarchs if you want to check us out after this. So the first thing I kind of want to go over is some of our amazing art by our artists. These are the actual NFTs we're going to be giving out, and we have 6 individual classes. This is our Knight, our Necromancer, and our Archer, just to show some of it off. Each one will come with its own set of specific attributes. So this is kind of what you're looking at in terms of our character and world building. So just to go over kind of the game really quick, essentially by 100% on-chain, it means all the game logic is handled on-chain, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much an advanced staking game with a lot of strategy behind it. So you can either choose to stake your NFT in a zone that earns you stats or a zone that earns you token, but not both, and you have to optimize on what you want to do. Once you have enough tokens, you can unlock our boss and try to battle it, and it's an autoplay. So if you defeat it, you can earn an evolution, which means your on-chain image changes. And there's also a place where you can earn a Gen 2 NFT. And then one of the coolest things where we're integrating fractals is we want to bring companions from partnering collections. So since we can attach our metadata to our NFTs, we can attach it to our partners, and then they can play inside our game and kind of stake along with you without having to leave your wallet. And then just some of the tokenomics of some of our use of our token is that you can unlock higher earning zones, you can unlock the bosses like I just said, lower some of the cooldowns in the game. One of the cooler features we're trying to implement is a reroll, where you basically burn your current NFT and get a new set of stats and a new one, so you can get a rare one, or you can keep the one you like. And we're having game boosts and things like that. So to kind of show what this is going to look like, this is kind of our alpha test right here. We have a whole new UI, so this is kind of an older version, but it's stable, so we're going to go with this. And here we have your NFT, which was right in your wallet. And he's chilling here. He's got some health. He's got how long he's been in the zone for. He's got some levels, some stats attached to him. Right, and we can go send him to fight a boss. And this is on DevNet, so transitions are a little slow. So hopefully when we get to some good fast clusters, it'll be a little bit better. So once he kind of heads over there, he'll go, quote unquote, fight the boss to try to defeat it. And as you can see, since these stats are kind of on chain, our image for when we incorporate fractals is to have a little fractal box here or whatever partnering NFT, and they'll have their own set of stats and boosts. We actually have the back end figured out for that. We're just kind of polishing up the front end. And so while he's fighting, we'll see this little guy here. He kind of died to this boss. So we're going to go send him home, unfortunately. So our vision for this is to move, once we've developed this kind of farther, is to have like a PvP arena. And since you have to be in certain zones to kind of customize your stats, we're imagining kind of a diverse set of stats along people. And that means, we can make some cool PvP and hopefully have, tournaments where people can see who optimized their stats the best. Now he's dead. We'll have this guy keep fighting the boss. So it's kind of the idea. You move around, you gain stats. And we'll let this guy fight. The real time is going to be maybe a little bit quicker, a little bit slower, depending on how things go. But this is all client-side estimation of what's going to happen on the blockchain in the future. And one of the reasons why we kind of went with 100% blockchain is we see a lot of game developers, right? They're making cool games. I loved all the games I saw today. We wanted to take a different approach where we kind of maximize the blockchain side of it and say, how much can we do on the blockchain? What can we create there? And I think once we've pushed the limits of that, we're going to start moving to real-time games and doing things like that. So that's kind of our approach and our philosophy to this. And I would show you a cool evolution, but this is a deprecated version, but you can imagine, right, the Squirtle evolves, and we've got that all figured out on chain, and hopefully we'll be able to see that in a week when we do demo. And yeah, I'm open to any questions.
Any questions? It looks good. So is the idea that
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think my question is, obviously there's probably a timing element in this. How are you looking to solve this? Obviously, like mobile apps kind of send you a push notification when like maybe the battle's finished. How are you looking to like update users that whatever they were doing is now finished and they should probably do something else?
Right. So with the new kind of setup that we have, and the setup's a little bit older, we're basically imagining aspect where people just sit in their zones for kind of as long as they want, and they gain stats in that zone, and that zone's passive. You don't have to do anything about it. And then we'll have a kind of a 24-hour active zone that's going to look a little bit more like this, where you see the health draining, you're doing the battle, and that's going to be like a 5-minute battle to see if you can win within 5 minutes. So it's going to be kind of a quicker thing, kind of like a daily quest. And I think that way is a little bit better because a lot of people don't have the patience and the time to be coming back and managing these sort of things, and we kind of want to let people just set it and forget it in a specific zone, and they'll be like, oh, at least I'm gaining all these stats, or I'm getting all these tokens in this zone. I don't have to worry. And the people who do want to come, they can do a 5-minute daily quest to kind of do this. And that's kind of how my view on the timing aspect of that is.
All right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Just a question. Like, so there's no visualization of the fight, right? It's just purely based on some math in the background.
For now, right. So that's kind of the stuff I want to push towards in the future. And the trick to this, right, because it is kind of a staking game, and I'll send this guy home real quick. Now that he's defeated. And we can see he actually earned our token, and he earned a key to unlock a Gen 2 token. But the trick to this, right, is creating a cool visualization and a cool world around it to kind of hide the fact that it's, a math staking-based game. And that's kind of the next phase, now that we have kind of the back end done and we have some of this connection going on here. But yeah, it's definitely where we want to move towards making a wrapper. And like I said, eventually we'd like to move towards a more real-time game once we've kind of figured out what we can do here.
I mean, I think it's really cool. It's a high-level concept. 2 PFPs from different communities being able to battle it out, or the same community being able to battle it out and play for keeps,
Right. And one of my coolest things... Yeah, I'd love to have like a Solana-wide raid boss, and that's my kind of vision on this, is to have a bunch of different communities say, hey, we're going to get all the chimps together and get all the turtles together, and we'll see who can defeat the boss the best with their thing, and they'll get a little prize if whoever wants to participate, and that would be kind of like the ultimate goal on something like this, which I think would be really fun.
Yeah, it would be really neat for you to work with a 3D rendering artist to actually put your PFP in 3D battling, and it sort of follows what the math looks like, so you can watch it, and see who's going to win.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things we could do to wrap around this now that we kind of have the back end. And that's kind of our approach, right? We wanted to do the back end stuff first, who we can do, and now that we're kind of there, because we have a lot of this functionality figured out, kind of move it to the sort of things you're talking about.
Very exciting.
Awesome. Okay, over to social prescribing next.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Can everyone see my screen? I'm quite new to this. Can you all see my screen? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone to the Fractal Team or Fractal Team for inspiring me with this project, because at the baseline I'm just a pharmacist with zero coding experience or anything outside my pharmacist job. So that's my presentation progress of my project being Fractal Fantasy. So basically I'll be briefly talking about the team members. I wouldn't call it the MVP, but at least that's some work in progress, and then the marketing strategy I have so far. So basically, Fractal Fantasy is taking inspiration from the game Final Fantasy, and I'm trying to move away from the genre of play to earn to actually to fulfill-to-earn, to improve the health and well-being of players by making them more fulfilled in life. So it's a different approach to health and well-being, leveraging my knowledge in social prescribing. So team members, you have Rudresh, who is the Unreal Engine developer from Bangalore in India. Then there's myself as a pharmacist from UK London. Then there's Nuka, who's a music producer from Germany, and he's actually the 2017 Crown World Beat Champion. And then there's Nivesh, who's my cousin, who's helping me with the front-end development of the website. And I used to have a Solana developer, but he kind of had other commitments, so he kind of left the team this morning. So I've been quite actively looking for Solana developer to join the team before the submission. So first of all, what I did since our last conversation on the Discord channel, I've been working with the final draft to kind of write a story script. Then I've been trying to work with the angle shot using a software called Storyboarder, just kind of because I have no graphic knowledge, so I was just kind of trying to play around with different software available. Because I did a LinkedIn course on VR production, so that's how I came across Final Draft and Storyboarder. And then we're currently using Monday.com for the project management to kind of keep track on what everyone's progress is at the moment. And then, so I initially put videos, but I felt it would be better for me to show the actual game. So the the game footage I'm going to show you now is something I came up with this morning, because the Unreal developer had other commitments, so he's done screenshot, but let me show you just kind of the gameplay I have in mind. So think of it that looks like this. So you have the 6 crystal for each different attribute of health and well-being. Then you have the guardian deity. And so this was taking inspiration from my Radler NFT. So in a nutshell, so if I was to play it, you kind of get a better understanding. So it's nighttime. Then you have the spirit guide. So I didn't know how to make a blue to match Shiva color. But then you have different smiley face because I'm not familiar with game mechanics. But initially she asks you a question, and then you have to choose between very happy, neutral, or not agreeable, or don't agree at all. You kind of get an understanding of your baseline score using a UK accredited health assessment. And the plan is for the player to do it again after playing the game to see if their score is improved or not. So that's the gameplay feature. So that was me that I came up with this morning, because I did a course on LinkedIn called Unreal Engine Essential Training 2019. So the only reason I learned all this is because everyone in Fractal inspired me to kind of put some effort behind it. So that's some of the graphic part of my developer from India. That's how the landscape is going to look like. So he's a professional graphic artist and game developer. I wouldn't say game developer, but graphic artist. So basically what you see now will be the foliage attached to the landscape I just shown you now before. So it'll be that kind of level of details. And of course, it'll be in the night time. So he sent me 4 screenshots because that was very short notice for him, because I only managed to onboard him last Saturday, as you can see. So that is where I complete all his work. And in terms of OST, so like I explained before, I have my friend from Germany who's a professional beat producer. So I'll be asking him to produce 3 original soundtrack. So I don't know if that's going to work. Just to kind of get you a feel of his skills. So I'm getting that feel of relaxing, healthy kind of vibe, similar to Lo-Fi Girl, because I actually sent her an email for asking if I could use her music for the hackathon, but she hasn't got back to me. So that's why I came up with the idea of it, using my old connection from dance, in the dance world, to do the soundtrack for the game. So in terms of marketing strategy, I have a LinkedIn page, Twitter page, Instagram, and I purchased the domain fractalfancy.me. Which my cousin helped me develop the website, and I created a Discord channel specifically for the team for now. And once the MVP is out, then we can open it for the people to get feedback on. And that's it, I guess. So let me stop my screen share. Yeah. Any question?
Cool, man.
David, Mike, any thoughts here?
It looks awesome. I love how we inspired you to just dive in and learn new stuff. I think it's cool too that you've brought some of like what you think is important about.
David, you're unmuted, but if you're talking, I can't hear you.
I can hear you, David. Sorry, I couldn't before. I know I was talking over David because I had him on mute, but like I can hear him now.
Mike, you're the only one that can hear me in this whole room?
I can hear you as well, David.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh my God.
Jen selectively muted you.
What the? Jen doesn't like me. Anyway, social prescribing, I think it's really awesome. I love how he inspired you. I think it's cool that we've taken some of the stuff that you've taken some of the stuff that you value and put it into the game. So can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, and just I think it's great that you I think it's really important to add a marketing aspect to what you you pitch as well, and I think you've done that really well. I think some of the other people can probably add that into their sort of pitch as well. It's good to obviously creating a game is one thing, but also marketing has to be part of it too. So I think you've done that really well.
That's awesome. Thanks, social prescribing. And then last but not least, we have Us.
I just shared my screen. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, my name is Usal, and the thing that we're building is not a game. It falls under the category of building an experience or an app for featuring Fractal NFTs. So we are basically building a metaverse for gamers. It's called Onnoverse. So it's a AR and VR based metaverse for like-minded gamers to interact with the 3D characters in the AR and in VR. So we basically want to bring the NFT game avatars or characters into the real world. And our universes, our metaverse is centered around what we call a hoverboard or onboard. And these onboards, every person that joins the metaverse will get a basic a hoverboard with the basic functionality, but we use the Fractal NFT in order to customize it. So I basically want to explain how it's going to work. So these are the hoverboards that's going to be used in our metaverse, and we applied all 6 attributes of the Fractal into these hoverboards, and they are customizable. So by just applying your NFT, you will the app will automatically customize the color, the material, the speed, maneuverability, and other characteristics of these hoverboards. So we have I have a video clip of a demo that I want to share. So basically, we haven't connected to Phantom Wallet yet, but we're going to do it. So basically, your 3D avatar, NFT game avatar appears in the AR, and we have our hoverboard here. So this can be your favorite NFT game character or anything. So basically, you go to your wallet and you choose the type of Fractal NFT that you have, and the app will automatically customize based on the attributes of your NFT Fractal NFT. So it will decide what kind of speed or how high can this hoverboard fly. And these hoverboards actually will be used both in AR and in VR. I just also want to show a little bit about what we are planning to do in the VR part of the Onnoverse. So basically, everything that you can do in AR can be teleported into VR. Your characters, your hoverboard, or the items that you will discover in different parts of the world, just like in Pokemon Go. So here is the VR part of the world. So the VR part of the world is basically built for what we call clans. It's the gamers with the same common interest. So everyone who joins the Onnoverse will be able to start his own clan or join an existing one, and they will get automatically a floating island of their own. And So in this floating island, they can talk about different games, play with their NFT avatars, socialize, or do the things that they like. We'll also we're also going to work on a feature that they can bring their JPEG NFTs and showcase them to their friends. And in the neighboring sky, you can see different floating islands. So these are the islands of different clans. And in order to explore or visit them, you will also need a hoverboard. They're also going to be used here. And based on your attributes of your Fractal NFT, the speed, the speed of your hoverboard, or how high you can fly, that will all be determined based on your NFT. So basically, every person in this metaverse will get a basic version of hoverboard, but only the NFT holders will be able to customize them, and they will definitely stand out. So I guess that's it from my side. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them.
It's very cool. Now I'm afraid no one can hear me, but it's very cool.
We can hear you.
Even you can hear me. Look at that. So I think it's great. It's really fun. Yep. It's really fun to see Fractal branded hoverboards. AR is really fun.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think how are you feeling about the fact there's only I think there's a week left. I suppose where are you hoping to get to in the next week to present at the sort of end of the competition?
We are pretty much done with the MVP of it. So basically, we are currently working on the VR part of the metaverse, and we also have to integrate the Phantom wallet. That's the only part that's left, and as soon as it's done, I think we'll be ready to go.
Very cool.
Thank you. It's been awesome to see all these pitches, guys. It's been really cool. Thank you so much for all the effort you put into it. We love you all, and we'll see you in a couple. When are we judging? We're judging in just a few days, right?
Well, we're going to close submissions, and then we're going to plan an event so that, we'll stay tuned for that, because we haven't announced actually when that's happening. But it is F100 is nearing its end for this session, so it's very exciting.
Can I chime in and ask a question on behalf of, I guess, everyone participating? This is Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Sorry, I probably should have read into the project competition information more in the beginning, but is this going to be like a public voting system, or is it based on the founders, or who's actually doing the determination as to which project wins?
Good question. I mean,
I think we're gonna. To be honest, I think we obviously announced the grand prize. I think the discussion internally is that we're probably going to add a bit of a few more. Obviously, I think a community award is awesome. So I think there's going to be a bit of a blend on. We might add some other people in. But I think predominantly, the grand prize is definitely going to be our decision with some community weighting. But I don't think we're just going to limit to the one prize. I think we're definitely going to add another community and stuff. I'm probably just making this up and no one else is going to agree with me, but I think that's what we're going to do.
Well, we roll with whatever we say live, right, Mike? That's how we do it here at Fractal.
Yeah, exactly. So I think everyone's done really well in this, and I think there's definitely going to be community support. And I think, to be honest, I think even our winners might not be the same in the community, and I think everyone who's participated will get some sort of. Yeah. Not everyone gets a reward, but obviously, I think we're gonna probably put out new terms of what the ranking system is before the final date. Because we did come up with it on a hot tub, and now we're finalizing it a bit better.
Yeah, should we be doing like similar today and another sort of final pitch on submission that goes for say 15 minutes, or is it a matter of submitting like a pitch deck, our project, all the information, and allowing you guys to review it over the course of a few days, sort of thing?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think we have answers for you. I think that's a really good question. Let us.
So I think basically the first step is out there. So the first step is basically we have the submission link with all the details that we need from the team and about the project and things like that. But since we are going to do additional potential prizes, TBD on announcement, we need to like adjust a little bit. And we also want to make it like a big deal for the community and let you all show off a little bit as well. So the details on planning that event, we still need to work through and like find a good date and all of that. So for now, the action item is basically finish your game or get to whatever state you want, and then go to the Medium article and submit via that link, and we'll have information that we'll be providing to the people who are submitting, because we have the contact information via the email or via the form to follow up on like next steps after that. But we don't want to distract away from the deadline. So like action item, finish the game, and then go submit via that link in the Medium article.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Jen, do we have a video as part of the submission?
We have, let me actually check, but we have a file upload section. I think as a recommendation, it was basically for folks to submit anything that represents their demo. So I think the idea is that it is like you can feel free to submit video or the actual like link to a live game. That's kind of like how you want to, I think Mike said it earlier, like how you want to best put your best foot forward.
Yeah, so I guess if that's there in the form, I obviously highly recommend that anyone that is pitching, like anyone that is submitting, probably records a YouTube video probably of your pitch, because it never hurts to add too much. So like if you have the ability to record it like a 10-minute video or not even that long, I would definitely add it to your application because they do help. That applies not just to us, but to anything you apply for. The more you add, the better it is. So spend the time.
Exactly. And in the form, there is like, if you have like extra things that you do want to submit, there is an ability for you to attach those files in there. Awesome. Well, this comes up to the end of the hour. If there's any more questions, obviously we're always in the F100 Discord channel in here. So feel free to ask us any more questions on that. And this was great. It was super cool to see all the progress, and good luck. Happy hacking.